In today's video, I wanted to talk about the silent struggle when applying to CRNA school, and that is getting your references. I feel like when I started applying, nobody really mentioned how difficult it can be getting some meaningful references when you're trying to get into CRNA school. And by difficult, I don't mean just getting them in general. Is just how difficult it becomes once you apply to more than a handful of schools. And as you know, CRNA school has become very competitive, and in my case I ended up applying to 12 of them. And some of these schools require at least 3 references. And when I mean difficult, I don't mean getting people to physically write you the letter, but getting them to submit it. Let me tell you a little bit about my situation. So when I started applying to CRNA school, I applied to only 3 of them. And when I first asked these professional references, they were very quick and willing to do this for me. It was almost immediate. Within the same week, everything was submitted, and I was able to pay for the application, and boom, it was done. However, the second time I applied, it was about 6 months later. It was this past summer. I applied to the rest of them, and even the same people that I had asked before, they said yes, but they were not as quick to do that. And this is when this becomes an issue. In case you didn't know, when you apply to CRNA school, it's not like they can just give you the copy of the letter they write. They need to physically, so you need to list them as your references, and then they will get an email, and then once they click on the link, they need to physically submit the letter, and sometimes they would also have to answer some questions about you, write a little bit a blur about why you deserve the spot, or like a survey. So after a while, it becomes really time consuming. It becomes kind of a pain in the butt, and some of these people will not do it anymore. They will say yes, they will not. And some of these references, they only have a limited amount of people you can list, and you may have 2 out of the 3 that you need. You already paid the fee, and you're just waiting on that one person. And it gets to the point that you're literally begging these people to do it. And yes, they like you, but you also need to understand these people they're busy, they're working, they have a family, they have their own thing going on. So my advice to you is that when you ask these people, make sure that you know them well enough so they can say something meaningful about you. Make sure that they know what your capabilities are. If you're certified, they know that. Make sure that they can make you shine. I don't know how to explain this better, but because if you're just a random person that they kind of like you, they might say, oh yeah, he's okay, he's good, and maybe like a 2-sentence, 3-sentence thing. I mean, that doesn't look good. So that's the first one. The second one is when you're asking people, make sure now it sounds kind of sketchy to say this, but make sure that you separate them into different groups. So say you ask your director, your manager, and a physician. So make sure you ask those 3 people at the same time until you get someone that gets sick of you, and then start to ask a different group of people, and then do the same thing. Don't mix them, because you may have that person that you've been asking 5 times already. They're sick of you, and they will not do it. And once they stop doing it, you're done. So, and if you have people who are willing to do this 15 times for you, it's just, maybe you're just a really nice person who's very friendly. I'm friendly, and I struggle a little bit with some of them. I need to almost bribe them with coffee. And that sounds crazy, but it gets that bad. But hey, if you really want this, you need to play your cards well, because you need this. But yeah, so I feel like, trust me, you will struggle with this, and you just need to make sure that you're just expected, and also if they're willing to write a letter for you, ask for a copy, because you want to know what they're saying about you. They may say yes, I'll do it, and they're not saying that great of not too many good things about you, or may just be something kind of eh. So you don't want that same letter that's mediocre to be going to your top schools, multiple times, because if it's eh, you might just not ask again and ask somebody else. So that's something that was in my mind, and I just wanted to share with you, because in my opinion, that was one of the things that I struggled the most when applying to schools. I hope you find this helpful.